No Trax Roadshow would be complete without a sneak preview of what new models are just around the corner. So far in 2008, collectors have been able to add the Holden EK Ute, the Ford Falcon XD van and utility, and the lifelike Falcon XH Tradesman Ute to their collections. As collectors of the premium quality Trax Opal series know, the Holden HQ Monaro 4-door edition was the first new model to appear in 2008. Incidentally, it sold out in just 4 weeks. Just released from the Opal series are the magnificent Ford Falcon XA GT sedans. In another first from Trax, these models all have 4 opening doors. Not bad, at 1/43rd scale with very little over-engineering to achieve it. One of the most controversial Trax models of all time is the famous Stanbridge Hobbies FJ panel van. Rumour has it that the famous Stanbridge Hobby Shop in Perth are about to celebrate their 60th birthday. Once again, as was the case for their 40th birthday, Trax has been approached to commission this special model, so all collectors will finally get a fair chance to add a Stanbridge model to their collections. 5 all-new models have already been tooled up and are ready to make their market debut in 2009. You can always rely on a surprise or two in the new model release from Trax. Any guesses as to what they may be? But first, let's take a look at the backbone of the Trax collecting pursuit, the Trax book. A completely revised edition is due out shortly. Every official model ever produced is covered, from the very first back in 1986 to the very latest to the end of this year, 2008. Trax, Trucks, Superscale and Opal series are all there, supported with colour plates, descriptions and estimated market values. There'll be many interesting background stories about the models and the real cars on which they're based. Already announced is one of my favourites, the AP5 Valiant sedan. Hopefully this will also be a hit with collectors, as it's perhaps the most historically significant Valiant to be produced by Chrysler during their reign in Australia. The acceptance of this new Trax model by the Australian collector community will determine whether future Valiant models under the Trax brand will be viable. And bus collectors won't be ignored in 2009 with 3 new models already under tool. The famous but quite controversial rear-engine Sydney Leyland Atlantean double-decker will make its market debut. This Atlantean was unique to Sydney, but more about this classic closer to launch time. Without a doubt, the Denning Monocoach 176 scale model has built up a loyal following both in Australia and, surprisingly, with overseas bus collectors. Hot on the heels of this success story will be another Denning classic, their famous double-decker, which revolutionised express coach travel in Australia. Trax will recreate some of the highly decorative paint jobs and liveries that graced the sides of the many coaches throughout Australia. Stay tuned for the introduction of this model in 2009. For Trax and Trucks collectors, these models are a sure sign that Top Gear is firmly committed to the future. We plan to keep bringing joy to thousands of collectors across Australia who've painstakingly recreated their own piece of history and memories from the golden age of Australian motoring. Many of you participated in the Trax poll conducted in the last issue, 3810, of Keeping Trax, where you were invited to have a direct say in what new models you'd like to see in the future Trax model lineup. As a result of your input, Trax now has a better understanding of how club members are thinking in relation to future new model selection. This is how the top 10 models polled ranked in order of the number of votes received. Holden Statesman HQ HJ, Holden HK to HG sedans, Ford Falcon XD sedan, Holden HK Brougham, Holden FC station wagon, Valiant VF VG Pacer coupes, Valiant Drifter panel van, Holden HR utility, the Valiant AP5, Ford Fairlane Marquee. Just quietly, and I don't think I'm supposed to let on about this, but from this top 10 list of models polled, Trax is already well underway with at least 3 of them. I wonder which ones they'll be. Would you fancy one of the Trax Polo shirts seen here during this roadshow? They are rare indeed, with a production run of just 24 shirts, especially knitted for this anniversary year. Here's how you can win one. Inside the Roadshow video pack, there could be one of 3 signed Trax cards with the words Roadshow Polo on it. If you find one of these in the pack, then please mail it back to the Trax Club by the end of November to claim your prize. Now, did you really watch the factory tour closely? If you did, you also have a great chance of winning a Trax Polo shirt. In the tooling shop segment, you should be able to spot a forthcoming Trax model just from the shape of the tooling cast. You must be able to identify correctly the model description and the mark. But here's a hint. The model is a missing link that's never been made by Trax before. All you need to do is send us your answer by email or mail the Trax Club before the end of November. The first 3 correct entries opened will each receive the Trax Polo shirt. Good luck.